Welcome boys and girls to Sheba Online Studies. Let's start with the continue with the studies. We studied last week I finished taking unit 1. Now I'll start with unit 2. All right. So before starting, I just want to thank all the mothers, that is those who are behind the children to make them do their homework and all them. Thank you very much, because you are the only support. We are in the school giving you video classes. We don't know what is happening that side, isn't it? We don't know what is happening, if the child is studying or not, we do not know. They give us only the homework. That is making them do the homework and putting it on the take a pic and putting it in the group is your work only. So we are very grateful to you, all the parents. That is mainly mothers. Mothers are really sisters also. Some sisters and mothers are really behind the children, boys and girls, to make them do the homework. Thank you very much. And for now, till the school reopens, you are the principal, the vice principal, class teachers, subject teachers, everything you only. So you please take care of our students, make them study. Don't let them play around too much. Give them a certain time to play, to watch TV or something, but mostly let them study, because what is their thing improvement, we don't know, because we are not getting a correct response. Okay, that is, if they are studying and writing the test, we do not know. So please, you become the teacher there at home, and please make them study. Okay, after they come here, it is our responsibility. Till then, please help us to help them make them study. Thank you very much, parents. Okay, we'll study. Students, are you ready? I am ready to teach you. Are you ready to learn? Okay, fine. Let's start. Alright, now I am going to tell you about a story about Ruskin Bond. Who is Ruskin Bond? So this story is I Can't Climb Trees Anymore. Prose lesson, Unit 2. I Can't Climb Trees Anymore, written by Ruskin Bond. Okay, who is Ruskin Bond? Ruskin Bond actually is a British, but he was brought up here in India. He studied in a school in Missouri, and he has lot of awards, because he is here. He wrote lot of stories and moral stories and some of his life experiences. So regarding, but keeping in his thing, main focus is children. So for that he has got Sahitya Academy Award, and then afterwards as a citizen of in India, he has written a lot of things, given the highest award, that is Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan he has got. Okay, so really very he was honored by giving all this from our government. So this is it, and this story, I Can't Climb Trees, is a personal experience of Ruskin Bond. So the story starts like this: Ruskin Bond and a small girl, 11-year-old girl in this fling. So what happened is, after so many years, he had come to one particular house. When he was 25 years back, that was his grandmother's house, a very pretty house, set in around. There's a garden, and in the center the house, the pretty house with lot of trees and a compound wall like that. And he happens to pass that place. He gets down in the bus and walks down, and to see, just on the way, he want to go see his childhood days, how he used to play in that house. So as he is crossing, he goes to the house and he stands by the compound wall, and by the compound wall there used to be a turnstile. You know what's a turnstile? Turnstile is a gate, a small gate, this much gate will be there. With the center there will be one horizontal vertical beam, and there will be one revolving gate, like only one person can come out. You know that, no? Many malls also you can see it, like you go inside and it revolves and you come out. So when he was a kid there, he used to swing around the turnstile, that small gate, the revolving gate. He used to play a lot in that. He used to go round and round like one merry-go-round until he becomes unconscious, like that he used to play. So he is standing there. Now he is old, so he cannot, he was just standing there in that near the compound wall and looking at the house and admiring it and thinking about all his childhood stories, whatever had happened there, how he played there. So as he was looking, suddenly one girl's voice, she just said, "What are you looking at?" she said. Then he turns and sees one girl is standing there in the compound and staring at him, like what, like one, inquiringly he is staring at him, like, what this man is doing in my house compound like that. Said, who are you? Why are you standing and staring at my house here? He said, oh, is this your house? He said, I used to live here before, 25 years back I used to live here. This was my grandmother's house and now she passed away, so then we sold it and then from there we moved out to another place. So till then, since then we are in another place. So I just happened to pass here. I wanted to come and see the place here, to see the house, if it is still the same or it has any changes. So the changes what he noted is, he just stood there as he was, before talking to the girl, as he stood there he saw that many trees were cut down and the house was the same, the granite walls with all the granite stones, same thing, same, but there was a extra, some trees were cut down to construct a outhouse. So an outhouse was set up and the same jackfruit tree was still there only. During his childhood days, there was a jackfruit tree with a big hole inside where he used to keep all the treasure, that is marbles, pictures, coins, and then he also kept a iron cross also inside. Also, as he told, as he was talking to the girl, that girl said, when he told that I used to stay there 25 years back, the girl said, why don't you come inside and we will talk. She said, then what he did is, instead of taking the gate and coming, what he did is, he climbed the wall and from there he jumped down, not realizing that now he is not the same child before, now he is an old man. So when he climbed that wall and fell down, he slipped from the wall and fell onto the all the flowers pots and all that. No, inside the ground he fell down and he heaved with a sigh, oh my God, oh why did I do this, and I am not a young boy like I was before, now I am a middle-aged person, I am getting old. So not realizing that, he immediately jumped the wall and fell down. Then only he realized, oh my God, I am gone old, no, so I can't do all this circus jumps and all, like trapeze jumps I can't do. Trapeze, you know what is trapeze? Well, this is mentioned there in your book. Trapeze, that is in the circus you see, no, they keep jumping here and there, like two persons from here, they have to jump in the swing, go somersault and they fall down. So that is not, he can't do that, all that, no, he can't, because he's an old person, he can't jump and all that. Then afterwards that girl led him inside. Then as he went inside, he saw the stone bench where he used to sit. His grandmother used to sit, pick all the flowers and sat and wove those flowers as a garland for the idol and all that. She used to, for the hair and all that, no, she used to make garlands out of the flowers picked from the garden itself. Then there was a bougainvillea tree and so many trees were there, but mainly his focus was on the jackfruit tree. The fruit tree was still the same only, and it has grown a little more, and the half of the ground was covered with this shade. It was giving shade to most of the open space. And what he told, Ruskin Bond told is, a tree is a blessing. Okay, a tree is a blessing to the house. That is, whoever is living in that house, the tree is a blessing, because what does the tree give? It gives a lot of shade. Okay, it makes the whole place cool. Okay, all that. So it is a blessing, he says. So a nice apt way to describe a tree. So Ruskin Bond said that in those days they used to say that when we grow trees, it is a blessing to the house. Okay, and then afterwards the girl kept talking to him. What, how, then why did you come this side? Do you want to buy the house? She kept all this kind of doubts she was having. Do you want to buy the house? He said, no, I don't want to buy the house. I just want to come and see the house and go away. That's it. Then she said, what? They kept talking, that what is your father doing? Then she said, my father is a colonel. And then like that, conversation was going on. And then finally, then she said, I used to keep like a crow. I used to collect all small playthings, notebook, some magazines which I should not see. Those kind of things, everything I kept it in the jackfruit tree, like that he said. Then she said, why don't you climb up the tree and get your things? I don't know whether it is still there in the tree or not, because since 25 years, what would have happened, I don't know. She said, okay, I will do for you. I will carry it. I will climb up the tree and get it for you. So she climbed up the tree, and in that hole, one small hollow was there in that tree. She put her hand inside and she took out the small things. And she said, there was a cross, few marbles and all that. Same as he kept it there, all the things were intact there only. Then as he was seeing, he saw that a cross, the iron cross was given to him by his grandfather. His grandfather used to serve in the army, and his one of the his German friends gave him this iron cross. So he had it. Then the grandfather gave it to Ruskin Bond to keep it as a simply so a souvenir. So he had valued that iron cross for a long time and kept it in that tree. So whatever he liked, all those things he kept in the tree. And then afterwards, then this girl climbed up the tree and got all those things down. Then she handed over. Okay, oh, you came all this way to get the cross, she said. First question what she asked is, do you want to buy the house? And now what she is telling is, oh, so you came here to get that cross, isn't it? She said. And he said, no, I just want to come and see and relive my childhood. Okay, how that is, now I am an aged person. So I just want to relive my childhood. That is why I came here, and I was each and every part of the house. How I had a parrot over there, a parrot, and that sound of the parrot, and then I could view it. He could view all the way he was playing his grandfather's car, that old vintage car he had, and cleaning the clanking sound of that car, and then the budgeteer. That is it's a bird. It's a parrot kind of a bird. Keeps on making that sound. Grandmother's songs, a piano playing in the background. So all that I just came, relived everything. I just like everything I imagined, everything all what was it was like a clear photograph in my mind. So I just came to relive my childhood days. Nothing else. I didn't come to buy the house or to come for the cross. Then she handed over the cross to him. Take it, He said, no, you bring it up. You brought out from the tree. You keep it for yourself. Now you keep it, he said. And he just went out of the house. He said, then bye, and he went away. As he was going, half the way he went, and then afterwards, like one small boy, he walked up, skipped and ran briskly. He walked and went to the bus stop. So he came there for an instant just to relive his childhood days. Okay, so that's what it is. So this small story of Ruskin Bond really is very touching. Like we will not be the same, isn't it? Will not be the same. Okay, this story is telling that Ruskin Bond came to that one small instance to relive his childhood and how he was. That's all, just to keep his memories alive. That's all, nothing else. So as we grow old, memories are the only thing we can keep our thing to help us to live further. Okay, so that's what it is. Everybody's life. Not all are going to be young forever, isn't it? From childhood to youth, then to old age. So when we go to the old age, when we flash back, so we all that whatever we done, that is one kind of a encouragement for us to live further. So I used to be there when that happy mood comes to our mind, when how we were young, running up and down, all that. So this is one small story. Hope you like it. Next, children, I'll be taking poem, unit 2 poem, A Poison Tree. Okay, the title itself can understand a poison tree. How can a tree be poisoned, isn't it? Poison tree, this itself is a personification. Title, there will be a question be asked to you. What is the title? What kind of a figure of speech is the title? The title itself is a personified, okay, personification. A tree is personified as a something which is vicious, okay, so it is a personified tree, okay, a personification. Okay, I'll take the poem, and as I read, I will explain to you. Before that, I would like to tell about the poet William Blake. William Blake is a very bold poet. Bold means he expresses his views. Whatever during that time, that is when he was writing, that time there was a lot of trouble, that is socio-economic troubles, a lot of surrounding him. Socio-political problems he was having. There was a lot of unrest between the church and the people. Okay, so that time he wrote this poem telling like people were so angry with them, with the government. So in that time, at that time, writing such a poem, he was venting his kind of anger. Okay, he was telling the people, don't keep the anger to yourself, let it come out. Okay, so that one advice is giving that that time, that is when he wrote this poem, when the people read this poem, definitely they will come to a come to an understanding. Okay, we should not get angry, we should keep ourselves calm, like that. So that's what the message he wants to send. All right. So this is about William Blake, a very bold and very straightforward poet, William Blake. Okay, fine. I'll read the poem and then as it is, I'll explain that to you. Okay, a poison tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. Now, first of all, what's the meaning of wrath? W-R-A-T-H, wrath. Wrath means anger. This is a pure English. Okay, the poets always use English which is 18th century English. All the these kind of English poets, no, they have language which is quite high. Okay, so the word wrath, W-R-A-T-H, means anger. Okay, whenever it comes, you understand it is anger. All right. I was angry with my foe. What is saying? The first stanza. The first stanza, what he is saying is, he was angry with his friend. Friend means he knows that person, he knows his odds and events about him, he knows about his characters, his personality. So whenever, in case he was very angry with him, or the friend did something wrong, so immediately what he did is, they both clarified, they sat and spoke about it, and the dispute was finished. So the anger was calmed down. So they spoke it out. Okay, they talked about it and everything was settled. All right. So see, what's the first line? I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. So he was angry, he was also angry, both of them were angry, and then angry both of them faced and they came to a solution. Okay, fine, sorry, they apologized and went away. Okay, that was because he is his friend. In case the person who you are angry with, you distaste, that is, you hate that person. Okay, he is your enemy for a long time and you hate the sight of him. That kind of a person, will you go and talk to him and make a solution out of it? Well, why are you fighting? Will you say that? You won't, because ego will hurt you. Your ego will be hurt. Why should I go and apologize to an enemy? If I am angry with him, let it be. I don't want him to be in my thing. I hate him. So that hatred kept on growing. So what's happened? I was angry with my foe. Foe. What is a foe? Foe means enemy. F-O-E. Foe is a enemy. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. That means he did not go and find a solution. Say, what happened? Why are you angry with me? He did not go down because his ego was telling him, no, don't go. Don't go and compromise with him. Let it be. Let that anger go on. So he was keeping everything to himself. That anger was going on, and fear also. Fear means what? Next stanza that will come. So it kept on growing inside. Like he is controlling his anger inside himself, but he is not able to bring it out. He is keeping it inside. I watered it with fears. See, now what is he saying? This completely, it's a poison tree. A tree, normally what we do? Morning we get up, we water the tree, give then cut all the extra roots, we give it we enjoy the shade of the tree, isn't it? And a tree is a blessing, as I told you before in the prose. So a tree, what is that? How we do it? We water it. Okay, we water it, then it will grow, isn't it? Now what is he saying here? See the comparison. I watered it with fears. What is the it here? The it is the anger. The anger, what he did is, he kept on saying, okay, let it grow. So he kept on all his fears, his so much anger he had, that anger he kept on making it grow inside him, inside his heart. And then night and morning with my tears. So how he watered it? How we water the plants? Morning and evening we water the plants, isn't it? So same way, he kept watering his anger with lot of his tears and his fears. Okay. Why the fears? Because he is so angry with this enemy that he is having fear. What is going to happen with that? So he kept on watering it with, how he watered it? With fears and his tears. Then I sunned it with smiles. How he sunned it with smiles? What is the meaning of this? Sunned it with smiles. Now if the enemy is going there, that person you hate, no, when he is just passing it or something happens, one kind of vicious smile, no, one kind of that kind of a smile you just give, no, oh, you let it be, you must die, you should never, nothing good should happen to you. That kind of a thing you will have in your mind, no, then your heart will go on. So that kind of a sunned with smiles means one vicious kind of smile, or villain, one villainous smile you will give. And with soft deceitful wiles. The same thing, that's what I was telling. Or kind of one horrible look will give him. This person, somehow something must happen to him. You will say that, no, any enemy. So like that. Then, and it grew both night and day. And it grew both night and day, till it bore an apple bright. So this, you are watering that plant, no? That plant is grown so big, it become a big tree now. And in that tree, what kind of a thing? One bright fruit. That anger has given rise, given produced a fruit. It grew both night and day, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. Last stanza, see what is it? And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole, and in the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. That means what? That anger had gone to such an extent, your anger which has been bottled up inside you, had gone to such an extent that it bore a beautiful bright apple, and that apple had what happened? Your enemy came and ate it. Okay, when he ate that apple, immediately he died. So what is the thing? Last line, what is saying? So much anger which you have got inside, that will one day what will happen? It will kill the other person. Okay, it will kill the other person. So whatever it is, if you are angry with anybody, go talk to that person. What happened? Why are you angry with me? Settle the problem. That's all. Otherwise, you keep that anger inside you, it will get more and more and more. Keep on, like keep your things inside a bottle. What will happen? It will keep accumulating, then it will burst out. It will burst out. How it will burst out? Like now, how it burst out? That apple, and that apple, how that enemy went and ate that apple, and immediately he died. So the last 4 lines. And into my garden stole, that is, he quietly came to the garden, and the enemy came and ate the apple. And when the night had veiled the pole, that means it had become night now. Night had veiled the pole, and in the morning glad I see. And in the morning, that is the night, and the night he came and ate the thing, that apple, and then he died there itself. And then in the morning, how he was when he saw that enemy fallen down, he was so happy. See, in the morning glad I see, glad. He is very happy to see his enemy fallen down, the enemy dying. My foe outstretched beneath the tree. His enemy has eaten the apple, and that immediately he was lying down on that beneath the tree, and he died. So what is this happening? There is no poison tree as such. Okay, there is no poison tree. This is just telling us about the anger what we have inside for each other. Okay, this should not develop into this anger. You should not you should know how to manage it. Anger management is very, very important. Okay, you should know how to manage your anger. You should not let it just for each. Now your age, children of your age, what do you do? 9th standard, boys and girls, what do you do? Now it's your adolescent stage, isn't it? Now you are trying to adapt, like you want to become an adult now. Okay, you're not, you don't want to be called as a child. You are a teenager. So a teenager means what you want to do? You want to be free. You don't want your parents to keep controlling you. I'm not a child anymore, you say, isn't it? So you want to be, you ape like, that is, you want to look at film stars and this and that. You want to become like them. And somebody, if your parents or your elders come and tell you, don't do this, don't do that, this is bad, that is bad, what it happens? You become so furious, you become so angry with them, and you think everybody are your enemies. Okay, everybody nobody wants me to live my life, everybody are my enemies. So that is not the thing. You should never think like that. Okay, everybody are, why they are checking you? This is bad, that is bad for you, don't do it. Otherwise what will happen? If nobody is there to advise you, you will become a worst person. If nobody is there to advise you, okay, so take it as a good advice, take it calmly, take it coolly. Okay, don't take it as a nobody are your enemies. Now at this stage, 9th standard boys and girls, the poem, whatever the lesson is taken, no, it is kind of giving you a moral that is values. Learn it, learn from them. There was one story, I'll tell you one story about this. You know what is Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google? Okay, what happened? One story I'll tell you, then you'll understand what it is. He went to a restaurant. Okay, he went to a restaurant, he went and he was sitting on one table and he was having his coffee. And in the meantime, there were so many people sitting in the restaurant. Suddenly, one cockroach had come and fallen on one lady. The lady, how she reacted? She kept jumping up and down. It was on her shoulder. That the cockroach was sitting on her shoulder. She kept jumping up and down and she tried to remove that thing, the cockroach. And then when she removed it, that cockroach went and fell on some other lady. So that lady was jumping up and down, and cockroaches, ladies, they don't like, we are very allergic to some kind of thing, cockroaches. So from there, the whole hotel, the restaurant was in a commotion. And finally, the cockroach flew and sat on the waiter. He was having one tray full of food with him. And if he had jumped up, what will happen? The whole food have fallen down, no? So he just kept it calm, he stood calm, that hotel, that waiter that had come and sat on his head. And slowly what he did is, he kept the table down, kept the food on the table, slowly put his hand, took out that cockroach and went and threw it outside the hotel. Okay. Now what is the difference between that ladies and that waiter? He knew at that moment what to do. Instead of, oh my God, cockroach like this, running up and down and making a big chaos, what he did is, stood, thought for some time what to do. Then he kept the table down, took the cockroach, took it out and threw it out. He did not just throw it out like this. Okay, took it out and throw it out of the hotel. That is the way to manage. Okay, this is all one kind of a process you are going through. Okay, this anger should not be developed in your hearts or your minds. Nothing should be there. You should go and talk. Nobody are your enemies. Don't take that enemies. That fellow is my enemy. That girl is my enemy. Don't take that. All are your friends, all classmates, everybody are same. Now you are not in the school, now you are in your house. So all in the house, those who are around you, now in a lockdown period, you are staying at home, your family is the main now. Okay, focus on them, be a good child. Thank you.